Sure. My name is Teresa Hudson. I'm 29 years old and I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Absolutely. Happy to help. Happy to talk about this anytime.
Can you tell me what age did you start your menstrual cycle?
Yes, I can't remember what age. I remember I was in sixth grade, and I remember that because I was at school and I was wearing white pants when my cycle started. Yes, yes. And my mom was out of town. My dad had to deal with that. He tried. My dad, God bless him, God love him. He is a country boy from South Louisiana, raised an only child, an only boy, but he had a lot of female cousins. So he knew and understood what was happening, but not enough to go to the store and be comfortable getting me the products that I needed. So we ended up having to call one of my best friends. Her mom came through and, he knew enough to call her. It was like, please come help. And then my mom came home, she had already given me a little bit of like a talk around that time, taking me like to the hospital for like a little class on like, what's your body gonna do? And so we had that discussion. I was kind of like aware that this was happening. My friends had already gotten their cycle. And so like, it was scary because like, I just went to the bathroom and all of a sudden it was just like blood. But, it worked out better than, I've heard some very different horror stories. And honestly, I'm blessed that it worked out the way that it did, even if I did ruin my pair of white pants that day.
Can you tell me about the menstrual products you do use?
Yeah, so I started out only being comfortable using pads. And then I don't want to say graduated, but I did end up, after like my first obstetric visit, kind of got me comfortable using tampons. At first just swimming and like all that kind of stuff, just being able to have that kind of flexibility. And now I have an IUD implanted, so I don't bleed all that much. So I still use tampons when I need to. And I've tried the cup. I can't with the cup. I don't know what it is. I can't make it work for me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just can't make it work for me. But other people I've heard, it works really well for them. And maybe one day we'll get on one accord, but today is not that day.
Can you tell me what you do to mitigate menstrual cycles if you have any?
Yeah, I feel like I'm 29 now, so as I've gotten older, my cycle has just like changed and all of that kind of stuff. So, before it was like a heating pad for like the cramps. Making sure that I'm like really well hydrated. I've learned having an exercise routine helps me, like just even if I don't feel like doing because I do weightlifting. So even if I don't feel like, lifting heavy when I'm on my cycle, even just like getting out and going for a walk or something, like moving my body helps me because I really don't feel like moving my body, but it is like the most helpful thing to deal with like the cramps and like just feeling really, I get really anxious and kind of depressed right before. And so just, being outside, speaking to people, taking a walk, those kind of things, making sure I'm staying hydrated. And I've also like eating beets.
Yes.
Eating beets helps
yes.
a lot,
Yes.
especially because, I think most of us get pretty anemic. I think most Black women are like low-key anemic anyway. So eating beets, especially if you're vegetarian and you don't do like the red meat thing, I feel like that helps a lot around like when I know and I use like an app to track my cycle and I know it's coming up. I make sure I have a couple of beets, even though I feel like that was a myth that was perpetuated for a minute. I don't know if anybody watched The Cosby Show. If you watched The Cosby Show, that was something that I like. It was like, you need to eat 5 beets a day and you'll be fine. And low-key, 5 beets a day.
Excellent. What
Yeah.
period tracker?
So I use Flow. Know that there's some back and forth about Flow and, them having your information and all of that kind of stuff. But I feel like it has a lot of good information it's helped me just track the different cycles or the different phases of my cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really helped me just know what's happening and understand what's happening because I don't know if anybody else experiences this, but it's like every month it was new. It was like I'd never had a period before. I'd never had these symptoms before. And I was like, why am I sad? Why do I feel bloated? And then all of a sudden I would start feeling the cramps. I'd be like, oh, of course. And so having that app, whatever app you use, whatever you want, or if you just want to write it down, I feel like it's just very useful as a woman and somebody who has a womb to just know what's going on.
Do you have a name for your menses?
No, I don't have a name. I mean, like, I call her, like, I just say Mother Nature. I say Mother Nature is happening. I feel like my Aunt Flo is on her way. And 9 times out of 10, I just hold my lower stomach and I just say my body is in revolt because I didn't impregnate myself.
Wow, though, that's a powerful statement.
Yeah, I'm just like, I didn't give her a baby and she's throwing a tantrum. Like, so it's not really a name. It's just like, this is what's happening. That's what I say.
If you could change policy in the United States, what would it look like for menstruating women, perimenopausal women, and menopausal women?
I really think if I could change policy, I really think it would be more just understanding of like, you need days where you're not worried about work, people around you. Like you just want to be in a space that's comfortable. And that's for people who are blessed enough to have steady employment, have housing, have access to menstrual products, all that kind of stuff. I really think my biggest take is that menstrual products should be absolutely free. I don't understand why we're paying for something that we absolutely need. If you had a whole bunch of women just free bleeding out here, y'all would be upset. So I feel like, why are we paying money for any type of menstrual products? Honestly, any type of reproductive product that we need to function. I mean, like that would be my biggest thing, is just make all of that free and give us time off. We're going through, especially if you're going through menopause and those mood swings and all that kind of stuff. I know some people who have endometriosis and have debilitating cramps where they can't even move. Give the people the time off that they need of work and having to deal with all of the emotional, physical, spiritual labor that we as women hold in our communities. At least give us that. At least give us that time to just deal with our body revolting because we didn't give it a baby.
Thank you for doing this interview.
Absolutely.